Here we are once again. It is the Role Players podcast. Man, I never get enough of it. I am your guy, B. Byron. Words of wisdom. I have a lot of different names. And then I have none other than Mr. Know-It-All himself, the great philosopher of the sports circuit, Jay. Man, oh man, what a sports week it's been. How have you been? What's going on with you?
Man, I'm all right for the most part, man. I sit there and watched the slobber knocker last night.
A slobber knocker?
Yeah, man, and what I mean by a slobber knocker is it's not the old school slobber knocker when you got two great defenses going against each other. I watched the slobber knocker, which means I was slobbering on my pillow, man. I need some better Thursday night matchups, brother.
Wait, you're being disrespectful. Last night was a till out. It was Thursday night football. Don't be disrespectful.
Man, you call that the till out?
You know what? I don't want to do this with you right now because we have a great lineup ahead. I don't want to start with any negative energy because you're going to take me there. And once you take me there, I cannot come back. So we're gonna start things off on a little more debatable topic because now you got my blood boiling. I want to debate with you. So we're gonna start out with some hoops talk for everybody this episode. So the LA Lakers are up 3-1 on Denver Nuggets. They're actually taking care of business. Some could say it could be tied at 2-2, but hey, AD, top 5 player in the NBA, the dude knocked down a game-winning shot in game 3, and he took care of business. Or was it game 2? It was game 2.
Game 2.
He took care of business. I mean, what do you expect from a top 5 player in the NBA? Can we agree on that? Is he a top 5 player in the NBA, Jay?
I would like to say he probably is a top 5 player because you have who else do we have out there that's a center? Although Bam Adebayo, did I do it this time? Did I say it right this time?
I can't even say it now. You have me saying the wrong thing.
It's crazy. I was saying the name earlier and with no problem. Then it seemed like when you're on the spot, it's kind of a tongue twister. But Mr. Bam is kind of claiming his own. But I guess, yeah, AD's a top 5 player for the most part. I don't know another big man right now. I can't name 6 other players that's better than him right now. Let me put it that way.
Okay, so great. So we both agree on he's a top 5 player in the NBA. But is he the best player to ever play with LeBron James? Now that is a question that holds different gravity, my friend. Because let's just take a spin around it. Now, we don't have to include, we're going to eliminate some of the role players, obviously. We're going to eliminate even Chris Bosh and Kevin Love. Those guys are pretty darn good, especially Chris Bosh, though. Especially for everyone that just hated on Chris Bosh and said he didn't even have a purpose. I think that's blasphemy. It's absolutely blasphemy. But we're going to focus on the big 3 that LeBron has played with. Obviously, the Flash is there. Dwayne Wade, Anthony Davis, top 5 current player in the NBA. And then the one that's often overlooked or forgotten or underappreciated, Kyrie Irving. Because all 3 of these guys, well, maybe soon to be, all 3, have won championships with LeBron. AD hasn't won one with LeBron yet, but they're certainly on their way. And with the way this bubble has gone, it looks like it's in the tarot cards for Brunny Brow. Is that, can I call them that? Is that a nice mashup to call it Brunny Brow?
Bron Brow.
Brun Brow. But so these guys are all at some point or another were considered top guys in the NBA. But who's been the best with LeBron? Because if I'm not mistaken, the Flash won 2 with LeBron, correct?
That's correct.
And Kyrie, the Dookie, won 1 with LeBron. And AD has yet to win any with LeBron. So, who's the best, Jay? I want to hear what you got to say.
I think the best player to ever play with Bron. Man, I'm kind of torn on this one. And you say I got to go with D Wade. I got to go with D Wade, man. I mean, D Wade won the championship, if I'm not mistaken. That was his second season, correct? Was it his second season with Miami?
I believe it was his second season in Miami.
That's when they brought in Shaq. So he won a championship in his second season. And really, I'm not going to say Shaq was on the downside of his career, but Shaq was trending down. He was trending down. But don't forget, Shaq also played with LeBron, remember?
Yeah, he did. People forget about that.
Yeah, but that was the later Shaq days. That was the just give me a check Shaq days. So I am probably going to go with D Wade, man. D Wade is probably he's a top 50 player of all time. That's how we gauge the NBA, correct? We don't do like top 10. He's a top 50 player of all time. And I gotta believe that I think he kind of could have played with D Wade a little longer for whatever was going on in Miami at the time, which is an interesting topic going on if these two teams face each other, because the Miami people in Dade County feel like LeBron sabotaged them so they wouldn't be able to compete against him in the next 5+ years. But I got to go with D Wade, man. D Wade was that was a tough 1-2 combination. That was almost like Jordan and Pippen.
Wow, Jordan and Pippen. That's big comparisons now.
I'm not talking about ring wise. I'm talking about game, like skill wise.
Oh, yeah, but you know, before I give my take, I'm gonna go ahead and take some bait on this. I'm gonna be a guppy and take the bite. So I'm curious, who's MJ and who's Pippen in that comparison? You be careful with what you say here.
Who's MJ and who's Pippen?
Who's MJ and who's Pippen, brother? I need to know right now.
Well, I would like to say Pippen would be D Wade. Pippen would be D Wade. Jordan would be LeBron. And the reason why I say that is because the first 3 championships the Bulls got, it was more Pippen. It was more Jordan trying to spread his wings and become a champion. The next 3 rings they got, Jordan came back to help Pippen out, basically. He came back to get them more rings because Pippen had got those guys to the Eastern Conference Finals without Jordan. So he was like, let me help my guy out. Let's get some more rings. The spin on that, D Wade kind of took the back seat of his career and kind of allowed LeBron to spread his wings, per se. You know what I mean? And LeBron has played, I think LeBron has played with more great players than Michael Jordan did, for sure. Because you can't forget about Ray Allen as well on that team. And Ray Allen at that point in time, he was a dead-eye 3-point shooter. But I would like to say D Wade was LeBron's Pippen.
And I would like to say you got it wrong twice here.
Oh,
okay. You got it wrong twice. No. It's not this guy. It's me. I'm not this guy. I'm me. I'm Mr. Words of Wisdom. And that's why people tune in. Because you know it all. But I'm wiser, you know? I'm wiser. Because here we go. Here we go. First of all, to take a sidebar to the lead here. D Wade is MJ all day, every day. Okay? He was the guy on that team. He taught LeBron how to be a leader. He was the executioner. He was the finalizer. He was the closer. Okay? He taught LeBron how to be a closer. D Wade had championship blood in him since the day he walked into the NBA, okay? Even when it was D Wade and Shaq, D Wade was MJ. Even Shaq will go on record saying he went there to help D Wade. It wasn't the other way around. He didn't say, oh, well, I'm going there to be the guy and D Wade's going to help me out. No. It was D Wade's team. Just like it was MJ's team. So D Wade is the MJ for that Miami Heat team. And LeBron was just the Scottie Pippen. I mean, I'm sorry. It just felt that way. It looked that way. It smelled that way. I mean, all the senses were there. I don't know how you come to that conclusion that it was the other way around, but it was D Wade's team. It was D Wade's leadership that got them that far. It was LeBron's versatility that made him the Pippen, just like Pippen. Could D Wade done it without LeBron and just Bosh? I believe he possibly could have.
Whoa.
Could LeBron done it could LeBron have done it with just Bosh? No D Wade? Absolutely not. Okay? So that's where you went wrong the first time. Well, actually the second time. Because the first time, it's not D Wade that's the best player LeBron has played with, okay? And I know it's strange. It's strange. But I'm going to say career-wise, of course, D Wade is the best player that LeBron played with. But we're talking about just team-wise, playing style-wise, what they're doing for LeBron. It is Anthony Davis, and it might sound crazy, but it's Anthony Davis because now Anthony Davis is the Pippen to LeBron's MJ. LeBron's doing everything, man. I mean, this may be the best LeBron out of all the versions of LeBron. He can shoot. He can make plays. He can assist. He can still drive. He can close, and that's major. Okay, that's major. You can't even overlook that. You can't overlook it, not at all. But this guy, Anthony Davis, man, I mean, he can rebound. He can drive. He has an inside-outside game. He plays well with LeBron. They counter each other better than D Wade and LeBron. This is very similar to Kobe and Shaq, man. And I might be crazy, but I'm a fan of basketball when you have the guard center or the guard big man, as you could say with Anthony Davis. Because I actually like the combo of Shaq and Kobe better than I like MJ and Pippen. It just works better because you have the inside outside. That's what you want in basketball. You want to be able to cover the inside of the paint, and you want to be able to cover the outside on the perimeter. You get that with LeBron and AD. Same as you got with Kobe and Shaq. But with the Pippen, Jordan, or I guess for our listeners out there, I don't want to offend you MJ goaters. Nah. You guys want to say MJ, Pippen, and then D-Wade, LeBron. You know, sometimes you're still lacking that piece. It does take a third piece. And that's what I'm getting at with this whole thing. It took a third piece for both MJ, Pippen. They needed Rodman. Horace Grant, and then with Wade James, they needed Bosh. But this AD and LeBron thing, man, just like with Kobe and Shaq, it's getting done pretty much through two of those guys, man. Both of those guys are wreaking havoc. And it is a two-man team versus a three-man team. It's not a big three, it's a big two. That means more to me. I think that says more. Now, is that saying Anthony Davis is greater than D-Wade? No, I'm not saying that. But is that the best player that LeBron has played with? Yeah, because when you have the two guards or the two forwards or the forward guard, they're taking away something that the other could have. But when you have the guard, forward, and the center, or the guard, power forward, or however you want to frame it up, the big and the small, you're covering it all, man. No rhyme intended there. I'm just great like that sometimes, you know? I'm just great like that. But they got it covered, man, and you didn't have it covered. You let me down, Jay.
Well, I'm gonna tell you why I don't think that LeBron, I don't think that AD is the best player LeBron's played for. It's because I'm just gonna call it like it is, man. AD's kind of soft, man. He's had some, yeah, he had some up and down games in his series, man, and he had some up and down games in the last series. Well, he just disappeared in stretches of the game. They are actually sitting this guy down. The coaching staff is actually sitting him down in long stretches of the fourth quarter when he should be on the court. There's no way Shaq would have sat down with Kobe. Kobe would have sat down with Shaq. MJ or Pippen never would have sat down 7 minutes at a time with the Bulls. It's no way. That's why I said AD doesn't have the heart of the champion. He doesn't have the will of the champion. And I think he is kind of the kryptonite. He is kind of the reason he will be at fault if these guys. Now I know everyone's going to blame LeBron if they don't win. But I think he's going to be at fault if these guys don't win this championship. Because it's set up for him, man. That's just what it is. It's set up for him. I'm surprised you let me down.
No, I didn't let you down. I didn't. I have no clue what you're talking about, man. I think you let me down. I don't think it. I know you let me down. AD, now he may not be tearing it up on the rebound, sir. Okay, because he's out there against that Joker. Why so serious? But it's serious because AD is all over the place. I mean, this man is a big that can go inside or outside, and he's doing it. He may not be getting all of the rebounds against Joker, but he's getting all of the stats against Joker. He's having the impact plays. He is making Joker work. Okay? Joker, okay, he had an incredible game in game 4. Or was it game 3? It was game 3.
Game 3.
He had an incredible game. But outside of that, he hasn't had an incredible game. He's had some solid games. But when you compare it to AD and how AD is just working this guy, I mean, he's working him and working him. There is no answer to AD. There's no real true answer to AD. If you come to the court the proper way, you can bring an answer for Dwayne Wade. And Kyrie, I know you're in North Carolina probably listening to this. We have not forgotten you. You're just no factor. That's all. I'm sorry. You're no factor. You know, you don't have a dog in this fight, but you did have a dog in the fight, you know? You're like a hush puppy, you know? You're not a dog, you're a hush puppy. You're an appetizer. Because without you, the meal isn't complete. But we're talking about the big 3 here. I didn't want to go without talking about Kyrie, okay? Dr. Drew. Or whatever his name is.
Uncle Drew, man.
Dr. Drew, Uncle Drew, who knew, you who. But AD, there is no answer for the guy, but you could come to the court and give an answer to D Wade if you brought it the right way. You know, you can give an answer for Kyrie. You can offset, but this guy, he's dominating, man. And they've had an incredible run. I mean, they've only lost one game in each series. If they go ahead and close this thing out, I think tomorrow night, Saturday night, it's a wrap. I don't think anyone had a better playoff record at this point other than the Warriors in the recent years, where they just breezed through the playoffs. AD, man, I have to throw my hat in the ring for AD, man. Now, again, am I saying is AD the better player out of all? No, I'm not saying. I'm saying he's the best player for LeBron. He's played the best with LeBron. Because I'm always going to put my guy D Wade up there. Chi-Town's finest, you know. But I got to go AD, man. Yeah, I can't believe you let me down with that, you know. I can't believe that.
I just don't think AD's that big of an impact, man. He's a great complementary piece. But I can vary. If Miami go ahead and knocks off Boston tonight, I could see Miami being a serious problem for your Lakers.
Well, they're not my Lakers. I'm always going to bleed majestic blue.
They have turned into your Lakers. You have a Laker. You have a.
Oh, no. Don't do that. Don't do that. We're not doing that here. Because now you're about to make me go into a soliloquy of how I commit my allegiance to the blue. We're talking about Dwight Howard here. We're talking about Grant Hill, T-Mac, Mike Miller. We're talking about Shaq Penny. The Lakers don't have that, okay? If it wasn't for Orlando, the Lakers wouldn't even know what a Shaq is, okay? Don't ever understand. Don't never underestimate my pledge of allegiance to the blue. Because that's blasphemy. Maybe you're a Lakers fan undercover.
No, sir. I like purple. Yeah. It's definitely not that purple. Mine would be the Valley of the Sun, brother. Purple and orange.
Come on, man.
Don't you do it.
It's ugly, man. Yeah, I'm doing it, man. It's ugly. It's one of the ugliest combinations I've ever seen.
Hater.
Sorry. I'm not a hater, man. If you can't take the heat, get out of the kitchen.
That's why it's called sunburn.
You know, because I can't take the heat.
That's right.
That's why it's called sunblock. To block out all the hatred. I just can't believe you, man. Sometimes I just wonder. I'd say, is it how did we come from the same place, man? Because you're not. Sometimes you're Mr. Know-It-All, and then sometimes you just blow the whole thing wide open, man. Never questioning my allegiance to my friend, but you know, if I had to choose a franchise player, I would choose Shaq for the Orlando Magic, hands down. But that's easy in basketball. Choosing a franchise player in football, it's not quite as easy because it's really difficult to find a quarterback. Super difficult. Most teams in the NFL actually have just an average quarterback to below average quarterback. Until Jimmy G takes another step forward. Right now, he's still average. It's good, but he's average.
Oh, man. Maybe we're going to step into a whole nother field now.
Oh, yeah. A football field. He may actually be above average sometimes. But, and that's no slight at him because the way the offense is set up with Shanahan, he has it set up for Jimmy G to not always have to be spectacular. And I mean, that's smart because you don't want, in my opinion, you don't want a team focusing on just one aspect of the team. That's no slights at Jimmy G. So I'm going to say sometimes he's above average and sometimes he's average, but he's right where he's supposed to be, in my opinion. but he hasn't taken that step into greatness or elite category. So that's not bad. Or you could have a guy like Gardner Minshew. This guy on a good day is average, but on a regular day, he's probably a tad bit below average. That's just being real about it. I know a lot of my Jaguar fans are listening right now, and they're saying, wow, how could you say that? Well, did you see the Thursday night game? Did you see what happened with Gardner Minshew? I'm not saying it was his fault. I'm not saying that. But he had some moments where you say, well, I think the game is becoming a little too big for him right now. And a throw may be errant, or he may miss a wide open guy. Because if you're average, you make the average routine play. And sometimes he doesn't make the average routine play. Sometimes because he has so much heart or so much fight in him, he plays a little too hard, and he may cause himself to make a bad play trying so hard. So, I mean, is that fair to say, Jay? It's my guy. I'll be real about him.
I think Gardner Minshew is a hell of a backup quarterback. He has flashes. You know what? It's funny because Gardner Minshew in 7 to 10 years, Gardner Minshew will be who he faced, who was quarterbacking the opposing team last night. He'll be Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Nah, he'll be better.
Oh, no, he won't. Ryan Fitzpatrick had game of all games last night. This joker was 18 for 20. He only threw 456 yards.
Yeah, I was about to say he's actually had better games than that.
But he was so efficient. He was running all over the field. He was ecstatic. He was excited. And then next week, Ryan Fitzpatrick may be 33 for 48, 395 yards, and he'll throw the unquestionable interception to end the game. And you'll be like, what? This clearly wasn't the same guy from last Thursday. So I see that in Gardner Minshew. He lights it up. He almost killed my fantasy team last night.
Oh boy. Yes, he did.
He lights it up, but he also has the, what do I call it? I like to call it the
implode.
No, not the implode gene. He locks in on one wide receiver, one target. And he suffered from the lock-in gene from where and Drew Brees suffered from it last on Monday. He suffered from it to where you get so comfortable with that one target that you're used to locking in on. That would be DJ Chark. That he was
go DJ. That's my DJ.
Oh yeah, he couldn't even read the field. He looked kind of lost last night. And in return, he gave up an egg on Thursday night. And he looked like he probably shouldn't have. He looked like that you guys are waiting to draft the number one quarterback in this draft.
Oh, yeah. I won't disagree with the last statement you said, because I believe that Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields, or whoever is the hot gun up there, I believe they're very much in play for the Jaguars. I'll just be honest about it. That's no slight at Gardner Minshew. I actually like the guy. I think he's good, considering what he was supposed to not be. But I have to keep it real. But again, if I had to go down the team right now, I don't think I would say either one of these guys, whether it's Jimmy G or Gardner Minshew, are the franchise players. I don't think they have the keys to the franchise, because it's so hard in football to say, hey, without a doubt, this guy next 10, 14, 13, 15 years is him. You get that out of the Peyton Mannings and the Drew Breeses and the Tom Brady's and Dan Marino and the Walter Payton and the LaDainian Tomlinson. If you catch my drift here, these are greats, Hall of Famers. And right now, I can tell you, Gardner Minshew and your guy, Jimmy G, the porn star
Oh
addict,
man, come on, man.
they're not. Oh, come on, man. It's political season. This is a debate. I'm supposed to throw a little mud across the stage at you. Come on, you know that. You know that. Your guy's addicted to porn. My guy is a stand-up guy. That's just different. You know? It's different. I'm sorry. Not sorry. But I wanna say, let's take a look at these matchups this week. A few matchups. And let's play a little game of Would You Rather, role player style. Do you want to be a contestant, Jay?
Yeah. I'm always a contestant. So shoot. All depends what's the target.
The target is, would you rather have this quarterback or that quarterback be your franchise quarterback? Or let's say at least for the next 5 years. Because a lot can happen in 5 years in football, whether you believe it or not, folks. A lot can happen. So, in the words of Saul, main character, Jigsaw, I like to play a little game. So here we go. Philadelphia Eagles versus the Cincinnati Bengals. I'm looking at Carson Wentz and Joe Burrow. Now, one pretty much led his team all the way up to a Super Bowl. Without him, they don't get that far. But he didn't win the Super Bowl. It went to Nick Foles, and we all know Nick Foles' journey. And then you have Joe Burrow, Smoking Joe, the Bayou Boy Wonder. The man was phenomenal last year for the LSU Tigers, but we're on the big leagues now, Playboy. And he's showing flashes of being great. But would you rather have Carson Wentz as your franchise quarterback or Joe Burrow, man? I need to know, Jay. Mr. Know-It-All.
So if I'm a GM and we're going 5 years down the road. So coming into the league, I was a big Carson Wentz fan. And I like Carson Wentz until I seen him play on the professional level. So he brought his habits in from college into the professional level. Because into college, we all know you could turn the ball over a couple times. You still can win those ball games. It's not efficient play. But he has a turnover gene. And Joe Burrow doesn't. And Burrow is, he is distributing the ball in Cincinnati. The way he's looking, he doesn't have the lock-on gene. He knows he's looking at guys off. He's throwing to he's taking what the defense is giving you. If they're playing a heavy zone, he's doing check down Charlie. And then sometimes he'll look off check down Charlie and throw it down the seam. I've only seen one other guy do the things that Burrow's doing. Now, I'm not saying calling a game. I'm saying distributing the football. And that would be the one and only Peyton Manning.
Wow.
Burrow is throwing dimes, man. Burrow is throwing dimes, and I am just completely shocked because I thought he would struggle with it not being a mini camp, an abbreviated training camp, no preseason games. But I'm expecting Burrow to be on an incline. He's only going to get better. So for my 5 years, man, I got to go with Burrow. Sorry, Wentz, man. I'm trading you to the Bears.
To the Bears? What? No.
If I'm a GM, I'm getting rid of Wentz, and I'm going to take Burrow.
The Bears have their guy, and it's Mitch, Mr. Fourth Quarter Trubisky. Biscuit Man. But, or maybe we can call him Biscuitville. Oh, there we go. Hey, created a new superhero out here for the Bears. So, Carson Wentz versus Joe Burrow. Now, I'm not going to argue that Joe Burrow hasn't impressed. He has impressed. And I'm not going to disregard the fact that Carson Wentz is a walking turnover. But I have seen Carson Wentz at his finest. And I don't know, man. I'm going to say it might just be Philadelphia. It may just be a change of scenery. And I'm going to take Jay's route. Let's just say, hypothetically, he gets traded. I believe Carson Wentz can be that guy because he has the big arm. And yes, he have injury problems, but that line hasn't always protected him up in Philly. It's been some up and down, back and forth. They haven't really built an offense around him like that either. Because sometimes he has it, sometimes he doesn't. It's really been night and day for not Joe, but Carson Wentz, man. I'm a believer in Carson Wentz. Yeah, I think you're giving up on the guy way too early, and you're going with an unknown because Joe Burrow may not even be who you need him to be until year 6, when you're talking franchise worthy. But Carson Wentz, I'm a buy low and sell high with Carson Wentz. I believe he can be that quarterback to get me to a Super Bowl. Because, I mean, technically, he got to a Super Bowl. He got his team to a Super Bowl. The guy was phenomenal that year, even with the turnovers. I think if you coach him up, because it's my franchise, I'm the GM, right? I'm going to coach him up, groom him up, get him out there and show him the ropes and say, hey, man, this is it. We need that big arm throwing it down the field for our 5, 6, 7 targets. And we're going to make this thing happen. I think I can win a ring with Carson Wentz. Yeah, I think so. I don't know so much about Macaulay Culkin.
Did you see
the kid never grew up into
Did you hear Doug Peterson evaluation of Carson Wentz, bro?
He doesn't know what he's talking about.
Move on to the Knicks guy. You have.
I'm sorry, man. You're just letting me down all over.
First, you went with Minshew Mania. Now you're going with Wicked.
No,
and
Wicked
Wentz. And then you frowned upon Jimmy G's. I can't deal with you today, man. What did you eat for lunch, brother? Or maybe it's all the rain that's going down in the Carolinas today.
Maybe it's all the rain going down over you because you're just a walking lightning bolt today, man. You struck like 2, 3, 4 times. You're lightning rod. That's your new nickname. So, lightning rod, going on to another matchup. Let's see if you can strike twice. Los Angeles Rams, Jared Goff versus Buffalo Bills, Josh Allen. The wrong Josh Allen. There's only one Josh Allen in the NFL. You saw him last night.
He was done.
Yeah, you know it.
Last night, by the way. Man.
Oh, but he had a sack.
He was one of those, had a sack. Give me sacks. That was a Brett Favre sack on straight hand on Brett Favre. Come on, guys.
Oh, let's stay on topic because you're still trying to make me erupt, and I won't do it. I promise myself I will not do it. So Jared Goff.
And
your boy. Come on with it.
And that's exactly who he is, your boy. So I'm gonna go with Jared Goff, man. I'm taking Jared Goff over the next 5 years. This guy is already taking his team to a Super Bowl. And right now, the Rams are kind of looking like they had the recipe It's funny. They got rid of Todd Gurley. They played Todd Gurley football. They got rid of Todd Gurley. And now they look like they have the same recipe with a group and a cast of guys. It's no way. It's no way I could go with Josh Allen, because Josh Allen, to me, man, I've seen this style of football before. He's kind of a low budget Steve Young. He really don't know how to read the field yet. And he's kind of using his legs a little bit, but people don't really know he's not using his legs that much. It's just a bunch of bootleg and short reads, getting the balls to the wide receivers. So I'm gonna have to go with Jared Goff, because Goff has Sean McVay. Don't.
This really is a tough one.
Oh, this is a tough one, ain't it? This is a good one, ain't it?
It's a tough one. And actually, listeners, Jay actually came up with this topic. He chose a good one in this one, because I'm gonna go ahead and punt on this one.
We don't punt on this show.
I'm gonna punt.
We'll roll.
Look, I'm not punting. There's no punting in football, but I'm gonna punt from this angle. I'm gonna take Josh Allen over Jared Goff.
Man, you're crazy.
Because I believe Josh Allen could be the perfect bridge quarterback to someone like Trevor Lawrence. I mean, I'm just saying. I think this guy in 2 to 3 years could be the perfect bridge quarterback for
not 2 to 3.
No. I'm not saying it. I said someone like Trevor Lawrence. Meaning in 2 to 3 years, I think this guy, I think this franchise, I think my franchise, since I'm the GM, I think I'll be looking at, the cards lined up right. I'm going to take a quarterback, because I haven't quite gotten I haven't gotten to Super Bowl level with Josh Allen. Is he good to win games? Sure. But this dude is Blake Bortles on a good day. Okay? Let's just be real. He's Blake Bortles on a good day. And to touch on Jared Goff, I'd never choose Jared Goff. This dude can't get it done without a running back. I'm never going to choose him. The Rams made a horrible deal. They made him big top dollar Goff. And then Gurley said, "Oh, I got bone on bone going on. I got arthritis." And then out goes Jared Goff. At least Josh Allen has showcased, I'm not the greatest passer. I'm not the greatest runner, but I am a gamer. I'm going to try my best to win games, and I'm going to bring a winning attitude to the team. And in 2 to 3 years, that's just the thing I need around, and maybe 3 to 4. That's just the thing that I need around an incoming rookie. I need somebody there that's going to say, "Hey, I know you want me out of here. You're darn Skippy. I want you out of there. You're Josh Allen. You're the wrong Josh Allen. I need you to teach this guy. I need you to be a good sport guy." So I'm going to take Josh Allen. That's the way I'm going to punt this thing. I'm taking Josh Allen because I think he's the better gamer. I think he's the better, hey, things have gone to the pooper. Things are in the dumps. I don't know what I'm going to do in second half. How can we win this game? Hey, man, let Josh do what Josh does. If I look at Jared Goff and say, "Jared, man, I need you to do it what you do best and hand the ball off." Hell no. Goff must go. Can't do it.
My guy's been to a Super Bowl, man.
But with whom? With whom was he handing the ball off to?
Todd Gurley didn't play in that game.
And they
didn't play in that whole second half of that season. Come on, guy.
And they struggled.
All right, man.
Goff struggled at times when C.J. Anderson was not running well. I'll go down the history pipeline with you. I sure will. But Josh Allen, He's won games in Buffalo, New York. Come on, man. Who else is in Buffalo, New York?
I don't know.
Who?
You punting when your coach wouldn't punt last night. So I don't know. God.
What was there to punt to? There was only defeat and then more defeat. there was no winning view or skyline in that game against the Miami Dolphins. They're
Do you know?
Dolphins.
Do
I'm
you know
sick
what
of
Bills mean? That's who you picked, the Bills quarterback. Do you know what that means?
yeah, dollar bills, y'all.
No. Boy, I love losing Super Bowls.
Look, that was 19 way back when. We're talking about Josh Allen, who's not going to win a Super Bowl either, but he's going to be my bridger. So let's go to another matchup, man. You're trying to take me here today. I can't believe you. Kansas City Chiefs and the Baltimore Ravens. Now, I think this is no one needs an introduction here because we're talking about Pat Mahomes, boy, my homies, and Lamar Jackson, big trust.
Yeah.
This is an interesting one. This one was you gave me some broccoli, then you gave me some mashed potatoes with gravy. But you gave me mashed potatoes, then you gave me some broccoli. It was like, I don't want to eat it, but it goes well with it. But this is the steak and the sizzle. This is it right here. Pat Mahomes has already won a Super Bowl. Lamar Jackson is on an incredible team, and they are electrifying.
Years, brother.
5 years. 5 years. That's what this is coming down to. I have to go Pat Mahomes, and I'm not even a fan of the running quarterback, but Lamar Jackson is electrifying. I think they built the right type of offense around him to be successful and possibly bring in a Super Bowl. Do I think they get it done? No, I don't think they get it done because they're in the AFC with Pat Mahomes. But Pat Mahomes, man, he can make all of the throws. And in a Super Bowl, in a big game, just like he did against your 49ers, honestly, he was beat. He was beat. But the thing about a guy like Pat Mahomes, you can never beat him until the clock goes 0-0. He did just enough. He did just enough to say, hey, I'm going to pull us out of this thing and lead us to victory. And he did it. And it looked great, man, the way he led his team down there and got those 2 scoring drives. I mean, it was incredible. The dude is phenomenal. He's dynamic. He can run. He definitely can pass. He has no problem with accuracy because he is going to put that thing on not even a dime, on a penny. He's going to put it on a thimble. He's going to put it on a push pin. He's going to find it when you can't find that needle in the haystack. He'll hit it without a question. But Lamar Jackson, I got to build him up before I hand it over to you, Jack, before you piss me off, man, because I know you're going to go against me. But Lamar Jackson, man, I put him and Deshaun Watson in a similar boat. You cannot discredit that heart, man. They have heart. And that's something that you can't measure in a combine. That's something that you can't measure in a Super Bowl. The dude has heart because even when they were eliminated from the playoffs, I believe it was by the Kansas City Chiefs, correct? When they were eliminated, the dude just kept game. Now, he started off rough. He had some turnovers. You know, it didn't look that well. And when he has a bad day, he has a bad day. But I remember last year before the season ended and they played the Cleveland Browns. And I know because I had him on the fantasy roster, and I was like, oh no, Lamar, this is a stinker. But man, that second half came around and that dude had a second half that was worthy of an entire game that some quarterbacks may never have. His game was so good in the second half, some quarterbacks won't even have a whole entire game that good. He has a lot of heart, man. I just don't think he has that championship pedigree. And for 5 years, for 5 Super Bowls, for 5 MVPs, I'm going at my homies.
Wow.
Go ahead, piss me off, Jay. Just upset me.
Okay. I know. I have seen Andy Reid, Eric Bieniemy. These are the guys who also coached Alex Smith, Donovan McNabb. You kind of get the drift of some of the names I'm naming here. Michael Vick, after a 2-year jail bid, 2-year jail sentence. Okay.
You mean Steam Piper Andy, right?
That's absolutely correct. Like, you got Tyreek Hill. You got Sammy Watkins. You have Miko Hardman. You have the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. You have Damian Williams. You got a plethora of weapons to throw the ball to. So how could you not go with Pat Mahomes? You know what I'm saying? They beat the 49ers. That was a defense no one could score on. But not so fast, my friend. I got the antidote for that. Lamar Jackson, what he's doing in Baltimore is almost unheard of. Every year he's getting better. Pat Mahomes jumped on like game busters, and he's kind of been the same. So for the next 5 years, I'm going to say, give me a wide receiver. Give me a real wide receiver throwing target. This guy's throwing to tight ends. Tight ends are linemen. There's nothing sexy about a tight end, man. I mean, let's just think about it. Nothing sexy about a tight end. He's throwing the tight ends. Last year they had 3 tight ends he was throwing the ball to. He's throwing the running backs out the backfield. He's running like a chicken with his head cut off, but he's still getting better as a passer. Now, he is 0-2 against Kansas City. His first ever career start was a playoff game against Kansas City. His first start against Kansas City was the playoff game. They lost. Last season, he lost a regular season game to Kansas City. But this is a new Lamar Jackson. He's throwing the football around the park. And for my next 5 years, I'm going to bring in a wide receiver via trade, via draft. And I'm going to give him a plethora of weapons to throw the ball to. And an explosive running back. And I'm going to bring in a better offensive genius. And I'm going with Lucky Lamar Jackson, that is. And his wide receivers, I'm putting it out there because I'm the GM and I'm quoting this. He's going to have his 2 tight ends and 3 stud wide receivers. And together we'll be the Jackson 5.
Man, what flavor is the Kool-Aid, man?
It's purple and black.
Nobody wants your boysenberry Kool-Aid.
You like the Jackson 5 reference. That's my wide receivers, the Jackson 5.
I'm going to give you some kudos and say that was actually a good job. I'm going to give you some kudos and say that was a good job. But, buddy, man, what flavor is that Kool-Aid, man? How much sugar is in that thing? I think you're having a diabetic coma on the show.
Years. Let me tell you, man. How long has Aaron Rodgers been in the league?
Forever.
13 years. The Super Bowl in his first 5 years, and he haven't even smelled the word super. He's never even been close. So beware. I said 5 years. Beware of what you say, my friend.
I don't know about this one. I just don't. You, ooh, getting a little loopy. Yeah, you're getting a little loopy. So let's switch up gears because you guys make sure you watch NFL Sunday this weekend and college game day as well. Isn't the
SEC will
SEC
be
coming
back
back
this
this
weekend.
week? Okay, so hey, make sure you watch some SEC football, some NFL football. Hit us up, make sure you reach out to us. I want to talk a little bit of Panther football for my keep pounding nation. So it's been a rough go. Right? It just rules seems to not have any rules.
Man.
You don't know what you're gonna get. But I do want to encourage you guys, man. I do want to encourage you. Keep pounding. Seriously, keep pounding, man. I think brighter days are ahead for the Carolina Panthers. I actually think they may be in play for one of those guys in the draft, Trevor Lawrence or Justin Fields. I'm not sure who would be a third quarterback because I don't know how many games Panthers will win. I know McCaffrey has gotten banged up, but I've seen some promise. I don't know if that win will come this week. I seriously doubt it. Justin Herbert looked phenomenal in his rookie debut, in his NFL debut, I should say. CMC is down, guys. That's something that if you listen to this show, that's something I've been predicting for a long time. He gets a heavy workload, but you have to remember he's still a little guy. He's still a smaller back. So it's really only a matter of time. But there are some gems on that Panthers team, There's some good on the defense. It may not look like it, but there is some good. And offensively, like I say, man, just stick with Bridgewater. Just stick with the guy, And if things get too grim for you, they still have Will Greer, right? Yeah. So, Jay, you have any thoughts on this Panthers football team, man? I know last week I went in, I had some responses from the soundbite that I put out about keep pounding nation. And some of them was just like, come on, man, we know. But Jay, what's your thoughts on this Panthers football team, man? Right down here on
it's a mess right now, and things look a little grim. And I know they get upset because they see what Cam Newton did, but that wasn't the version of Cam Newton you guys were getting. You guys didn't get that. Cam Newton hasn't looked like that. And then again, that was 1 week because he did not look like that the first week. So you have to watch Cam Newton play consistently. That's what's been getting Cam with you guys and what we say here in Panther Nation. I know McCaffrey. We talked about the running backs, man. But there's great blue skies in the Carolina Blue Horizon because this should be a wake-up call. I think Carolina should really invest in another running back in the offseason to split the load. That's the new NFL. The new NFL is 2 running backs, 3 running backs. Look at my 49ers. It seems like we got a stable of running backs. And you're moving in the right direction. I know Rue looks a little overwhelmed right now, but you got to give it time, man, because these guys, this league is going. These coaches, these new coaches are college coaches per se. The game has went to college football. That's what we're watching essentially now, B. You didn't notice that last night? It's like throw, run. I grew up in an era where you was running from the shotgun. That was a bad run play. It's like line up under the center and mash it. You know, but that's what we're going to. That's what style of football we're going to. They have forced the college game. So I think Rue's gonna do well. I don't know about what quarterback he can get. It's a lot of quarterback prospects in this draft, but there's really only 3 of them. That's really knocking down doors when you're saying franchise. But Carolina will be all right, man. The defense is a little in shambles, and then that offense, they got to do better. They got to use Burns more. They're using this guy in coverage, man. You know what, man? You know what, man? Because I seen us do that with Manny Lawson, Julian Peterson, Patrick Willis, and sometimes Alden Smith. Man, when those defensive coordinators, they're outthinking themselves when they use a talent like that in coverage. You got to get him in there going after the quarterback. That's why he was a freak coming into college. And once they figure out the NFL game, everything will be all right. Carolina, you got to remember, man, you got 2 old quarterbacks. And you got an old quarterback in New Orleans, an old quarterback in Tampa, and an old quarterback in Atlanta. So Carolina, if you play your cards right, your team will be the most young, exciting team in about 2 years. What you think about that?
I think that's great, man. I mean, I think that's a good take on it. I mean, I think you nailed it, man. You know, I think that's real encouraging for some Panther fans. We don't mean to burst any bubbles, but we actually have to run to the bubble because it's bubble night in the NBA, baby. So we're about to go watch some playoff ball, man. But you guys, make sure you tell all your friends to tell a friend to tell a neighbor about the Role Players podcast. We want to spread this thing as far as LA all the way to Shanghai. You feel me? You know what I'm saying. Go ahead and tell them to subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Spreaker, home Role Player, and several other platforms. Don't forget to find us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You already know where we're at, who we are. You can find us easily, no problem. But if you can't find us on Twitter, make sure you look for us at the Role_Players. Okay? That's how you can find us on Twitter. And then on Instagram, make sure you look for the Role_Player. And on Facebook, just the Role Player. We're going to be the guys with the school bus yellowish orange and the black, but you see the logo already because I know that you've been shared and gifted this episode. So go ahead and listen to many, many more. Shout out to my guy over at Listen podcast, man. He gave us an incredible review. He actually listened to the podcast. He loved it. We've made another podcast connection out here in this podcast mania. So thanks to the Listen podcast. And hey, make sure you give them a listen. But not before you do the Role Players. And then we'll just roll on over. So big shout outs to him. Big shout outs to you, and us for being your host for tonight. Thanks once again. And we're just going to go ahead and roll out.